Unlocked, strongest taste, loudest drop, head is filled. You'd be 13, I'd be 35. Going to find a place for us to hide. Be together but alone as the need for it.
Hi everybody, so today's look is inspired by the gorgeous Disney Snow White. She is the original princess in the Disney Hall of Fame. Now, what made me want to do her? I have never ever done a Snow White inspired tutorial. I have done a great deal of the other Disney princesses. I have even done overlapping videos of some of the princesses from the time I've, I don't know, changed my content or changed my camera. I've done multiple Tinkerbells, which have all been taken down until the most recent one I've done. And yet, I have still not completed a Snow White. I'm not saying I don't love the movie, because I absolutely do enjoy it, but I've never felt inspired by the film colors or anything of that nature. So I decided to sort of take her look, which of course I'm very inspired by pinup looks, and sort of modernize it, make it my own, add a little bit of cuteness in with the overall sort of look that they have the princess at the park look like, and just sort of give you this gorgeous poisonous apple red lip. So I hope that you enjoy this tutorial, and thank you for watching. So to get started on the look, I've already taken my Avalon Organics Vitamin C Renewal Revitalizing Eye Cream and the Gabriel Eye Primer in the shade Neutral. Now, if you do have problems with this eyeshadow primer, it is a little creamy, so I do recommend maybe taking a light buffing brush or a concealer brush and blending some of it onto the lid rather than using your finger, so you can make sure that not too much of the product over. Taking Makeup Geek's Vanilla Bean, which is just a nice sort of shimmery vanilla color, and the Pirouette number 6. This powder should really help stop creasing from happening, since we're putting this directly over the sticky base. Also, if you use maybe a very thin or concealer brush to sort of pack on the eyeshadow primer rather than using your finger, will also help stop excessive creasing. Should at least give you an extra hour of time. So I'm just going to be buffing this beautiful color out. It's kind of a dupe of Max Shroom. I know the Makeup Geek line says they already have another substitute for that, and it's not this, but I've worked with MAC for years, and that's just kind of my personal opinion on the whole thing. Makeup Geek's Creme Brulee, and it's just a really nice sort of soft caramelly brown color. I'm going to be taking that same Pirouette number 6 brush from the Pirouette brush set. They have, I think, an essential and a professional line. So I'm going to be buffing this color into the eye socket just to sort of add some dimension to the eye, not really to cut the crease. Just to add some Disney whimsy to this look, I'm going to be taking Shimma from Makeup Geek, a really gorgeous highlighty shade, and we're going to be applying this to the arch of the brow bone and just the very center of the eye. Brushing out the excess eyeshadow so we don't get it any more frosty than it already is, I'm just taking a dry brush and moving that over the intense shimmery portions. Now, since Snow White's eyes are literally drawn on, we're going to be taking the Zuzu Luxe Eyeliner and Obsidian, since they're just kind of this sort of box shape in black. Some new Disney characters, their eye shape is drawn in a different color, but the original Snow White is a little bit more of a classic sketch. So we're just going to place this. For the top lash line, we're going to be taking the Youngblood Mineral Cosmetics Incredible Wear Gel Liner. I'm going to be taking this and my small pointed slant. Go ahead, take any synthetic cheapy angled brush. Some creamy pomade or gel liner products are difficult to remove from the bristles, so don't damage anything that you really like. Although I have become very partial to these little Sally's angle brushes because I think that they apply gel liner quite nicely. I don't have to really worry about them getting destroyed because they're like $6.99. Sometimes even with the cheap ones, to preserve my brush even better, because who wants to buy, 2 of these a week, I do take a makeup remover wipe and just clean out the gel liner so that it doesn't harden in there any more than by the time I get a chance to get to it and clean it deep. I'm now going to go ahead and take the Ole Henriksen Perfect Truth CC Cream and the Pirouette number 5 paddle brush. This does apply foundation a little thicker than your average brush. So we're just going to dab this over the redness in my face because it's not even. Of course, you don't need full coverage with a CC cream or BB cream product, so we're going to be going in with concealer. I'm taking the Inglot AMC Cream Concealer, and this is the shade 21. And it's just sort of a light to medium, or maybe even a sand. It's got a yellow undertone, but it's not like the most yellow one. So you want a clear complexion, so we're just going to pat that into the skin. And I'm taking the AMC Under Eye Corrective Illuminator in the shade 51. It's just sort of a peachy yellow color. It will not correct any severely deep blue veining in the under eyes. You're going to need a corrective concealer for that. Maybe in peach or maybe even in green, depending on the color of your eye bags. So I'm going to be taking a little bit more Creme Brulee, and we're going to be taking this up on the Pirouette number 13. And we're just going to buff this out so it doesn't look like a harsh line of liner is just sitting on the waterline. So for the inner tear duct, we're going to be taking Shimma and placing this, of course, in none other than the inner tear duct with the Pirouette number 3 again. I'm now going to go ahead and take the Josie Maran. This is the Give One Get One Instant Natural Volume Argan Mascara. And now that I've had this open for a week, I'm actually starting to like it more. I could see more results with its lengthening abilities. I'm now going to be taking the Josie Maran Argan Illuminator in the shade Gold, and we're going to be applying about a pea-sized amount and press that on, and then just placing that on. I'm now taking the Red Cherry Lashes, number 217. I'm going to apply these. So for bronzer, I'm taking the Too Faced Endless Summer 16 Hour Wear, and it's just a really sort of gorgeous, very soft but warm bronzer with some tiny little gold flecks, so it won't look too harsh. I'm not a huge fan of matte bronzers because I think that they not only chisel the face a little harshly, I already have cheekbones, so it's not really something I'm going for, plus I find them extremely hard to buff out. So I'm taking the Pirouette number 4, which is a dupe of the MAC 116. It's just a nice flat brush where you can just lay the pigment onto the skin. It'll give you a medium to full coverage. So for blush, Snow White has very rosy cheeks. So we're going to be taking a little bit of Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Radiant Magenta. This has really gorgeous, you know, cool toned pink magenta, but it also has this very warm, sort of deep veining. It sort of reminds me of a MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. They don't really have a color like this with a cool pink. I know they have a raspberry pink with gold shimmer called Petticoat, but nothing like this. Applying this again with the MAC 116 dupe. I'm going to apply it to the center of the cheek, like right across the center of the cheekbone. Now, because I don't like to see a ton of blusher right there in the hairline, because I think it gets kind of gross when you can kind of see the blush sort of hitting the hairline, if you know what I mean. You've seen that 80s spread somewhere, right? So I'm going to be taking a slightly lighter hand right when we get it to the hairline, just to fade it out a little bit. You have the bronzer right down across here, so it's not going to leave just this white strip. Picking up a little less now, maybe even flip over your brush if you have too much pigment in your blush already. Shouldn't be. This is a pretty lightweight product. Form the silly smile face that everyone says not to do, and then place it a little higher than your actual cheek apple. Reason being is because we know about the fall. When your face falls, the cheek will lower. So we're going to do it a little higher right there on the center, the peak of the cheek, not any lower. And we're going to apply a lighter hand. This is what we call chocolate covered strawberries dipped in cream effect. Now the reason being is because you're forming the body of the strawberry in the darker hue, and then you have the end, which generally fades maybe even into a even softer color, and then the very tip of the strawberry, which fades into a softer pink as well, and then of course the stem itself. Now for the highlighter, I'm taking the Mary Luminizer from the Balm. This is just this random compilation baby palette. So we're going to be taking, of course, the signature highlight shade that really kind of launched this brand in the way of face products, along with Hot Mama from the Balm. So we're going to be applying this as the whipped cream of the strawberry. This is also a great way to adjust your blush if you feel it was a little too intense for you or too high for you. Some people think a lot of luminosity is overkill. It really just depends on how your skin takes it and how the products react to one another, depending if it ends up with being too shimmery or too sparkly. With the Disney look in particular, I don't think that you can have too much whimsy or too much inspiration, as long as you can kind of hit the keynote character on the nail by, you know, of course, noting colors, lips, lashes, and I think as far as anything else goes, the sky is the limit, because Disney always uses amazing designs and shimmer and all that jazz when it comes to Disney characters. Snow White has a very thin, dark penciled brow, so I didn't want to make my brows like too thin, too pencil-y. I just think it kind of makes the face look older, and Snow White's actually one of the youngest princesses. So I took a little bit of the Anastasia Dipbrow pomade in the shade Blonde. Let me know if you'd like a review of this stuff and another run through on this stuff. I did a quick one recently. Then I took a little bit of the Illamasqua Cake Brow in Motto and just sort of lightly did it from the midsection and back. So I can start on the lips. I took the Inglot, or I'm going to take, sorry, the Inglot Soft Precision Lip Liner in 72. This is a dupe of Max Beat Lip Liner. Now I'm going to be grabbing a little bit of Pumpkin and Poppy's Audacious Lipstick. Just is so superbly perfect. Deep, rich red. This is actually very becoming on a lot of skin tones. There's no beeswax in her lipstick, so if you've had yours for a while, you may need to work with it a little bit, but it's still, like, it's a perfect color. It's gonna work perfectly in that respect because it won't be moving or budging. I'm taking Nothing But a Cornflake Girl. Never was a cornflake girl. Duh. And I'm taking this sort of really pretty peachy lipstick. This does actually remind me of MAC's Viva Glam 1, I believe. Never Was a Cornflake Girl is the dupe of MAC Peach Stock. Pretty close. And you could obviously tell MAC's is a lot more nude, actually, for a color called, self-proclaiming itself to be Peach Stock. So I'm going to be taking Never Was a Cornflake Girl. This has a lot more pink rather than yellow, which I think a lot of people would prefer, because yellowy toned or quill tone lipsticks can sometimes make your teeth look a little yellow. Now I'm taking a little bit of Sexy Mother Pucker's Yummy Plum. Be sure to wipe off the dough foot before sticking it back in the tube so you don't contaminate or discolor the rest of the gloss. And that's my little trick to layering different colors. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my video for Snow White. It is a little inspired, of course. Didn't take it literally, obviously modern products. I also did not feel very inspired by her dress tutorial-wise, simply because my favorite combination of colors is not the primary aspect, but I do like her dress for what it's worth, just not makeup-wise. Once again, hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.
Strongest taste, loudest drop, head is with the thought unlocked. Strongest taste, loudest drop, head is with the thought unlocked. Strongest taste, loudest